So this is Wayward Sun 360 on a comment where he says, feel free to watch my content. I'm open to constructive criticism. What I'm not open to is someone from the outside looking in telling my people how we're supposed to feel about our subjugation. I'm sorry it dots the end off, but what he wrote was subjugation. If you want to see the real comment, it's in the comment section of that last video. So I wanted to say, what subjugation, bro? This is 2025. You're in the United States of America. This is a free country. What can I do that you can't do? What can you do that I can't do? We're equal. This is United States of America. There ain't no slavery anymore. There ain't no subjugation. If you feel like you're a slave, that's all in your head. And by you teaching all these Native Americans from the new generation that they're slaves and they're subjugated, then you're limiting them. Why wouldn't you want to be helping your people? Why would you want to limit their mind? Why wouldn't you want them to reach for the sky? Native Americans, if you're watching this, you're not subjugated. This was your country first. You guys are actually the First Nations. You guys deserve everything and you guys can have everything. And as for my Hispanic people, you too. You could go to college, though no disrespect to college, but I believe Charlie Kirk when he says it's a scam because you have to pay so much money, you end up in debt, you have to take so much classes that don't even fucking make sense. Then they're drilling all that leftist liberal bullshit into your mind while you're there. And then by the time you're done, you get some kind of diploma, degree, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm talking about. And then if you get a good one, like engineering, being a doctor, you could be a doctor, but then you also have to deal with the H-1B visas, where they're hiring people from other countries for those positions and paying them less. They're undercutting them so that way they could, don't have to pay you guys, American citizens, as much. Even though you went through school, you did all your training, you did everything you had to do, but now you can't get a job. So college is kind of fucked up. It's not a bad thing. Education is great. I'm an autodidact, which means I self-educated myself. The word didact is Greek for like education, and auto is for self. So autodidact, self-educated. I didn't go to school. I went up to 8th grade in middle school, and then I was going to juvie and in the streets. And when you're in juvie, they make you do packets and shit, so technically you're in school. So I did like 9th grade locked up, maybe a little bit of 10th. But that's the farthest I got, and I never seen a high school out here on the streets. Middle school was the farthest I went, so of course I never went to college. I've read hundreds of books, and plus my living experience. You think I'm just talking about shit that I read books and watched on videos? No, bro. I've experienced shit. When I was born, my mom was doing heroin, drinking in the hospital, so they took me away right away. Me and my brother John Paul, who was 1 year older than me, ended up in foster care. We were in foster care the first few years of our life. Then my grandma and grandpa took custody of us. Then when I was 13, my mom got out of prison, which I probably forgot to say she was in prison, in and out my whole life. She got out of prison, and then a few months later, she overdosed. We found her body stiff, cold, early in the morning. That was in 2002. Then 3 years later, in 2005, my brother John Paul got stabbed in the neck and killed at a house party fight. I was locked up in juvie at the time. When I got out of juvie, I turned 18, got off probation. I was off for about a year, picked up a felony at 19, and my journey into the prison system in jail. I was in jail in and out so many times that don't even count, but I went to prison 4 times. I was in the level 3, level 4, level 6, nothing under that. Not saying that it's cool to be in prison. I know fools that are way more gangster and have way more honor that have never been to prison. And I know bitches that have been to prison. So I'm not saying it makes you hard just to be to prison. It doesn't. I'm just telling you that's my journey. And then I grew up in northern New Mexico. We throw fiestas every year for our Hispanic ancestors. We celebrate the statues. When the natives try to tear them down, we show up and we try to fucking fight them because we don't care. Look, bro, we talk about history. We teach our people about our cultures, our traditions, our history. But we're not living in those days anymore. We're not subjugated to nobody. Nobody's subjugated to anybody. If you're subjugated to anybody, it's this democratic government that's taking all your taxes. It's this government that's taking all your taxes and giving them to illegal immigrants to get housing, EBT, food stamps, Social Security. They're taking all your taxes and sending it to Ukraine. They're taking all your taxes and sending it to Israel. They're taking all your taxes and just doing bullshit with them. That's why Donald Trump started that DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Okay, so I'm getting off subject. So he says he's open to constructive criticism, which is what I tried giving him, right? But I guess he's not open to it because I wanted to go live and have a debate. He could criticize me, I could criticize him, and we could go back and forth, and that's constructive criticism. Anyway, he says what he's not open to is someone from the outside looking in, telling my people how we're supposed to feel about our subjugation. Subjugation to what? Subjugation to who? You were subjugated by the Spaniards in the past. You were subjugated by the Americans. You were subjugated by other tribes. Yes, in the past you were subjugated. The Native American people were subjugated. The African Americans, of course, their people were subjugated. There's been a lot of subjugation. American history started off with conquest, ended up with, civil wars and racism and segregation. But now, the United States of America of 2025 is the best country on this planet. So what the fuck are you talking about? If anything, when Donald Trump was president from 2016 to 2020, I had people that were buying houses. I knew people that were paying all their bills, had money extra to go on vacation, go out on the weekends. These last 4 years, people can't even scrape 2 pennies together. They're fucking working overtime just to pay the bills. Me and my wife had got a paid off car. She was still having to work overtime just to pay our rent. So trying to start a family right now, these last 4 years has been hard. Trying to take care of kids, trying to pay the rent. We get it done, but at the end of the month, we don't got no money left over to do shit until tax returns come. Then we could go on vacation, which is cool. But imagine if things go back to how they were from 2016 to 2020. Anyway, I'm getting off subject again. My bad. I just wanted to tell this guy that Native Americans ain't subjugated anymore. You're only subjugated in your mind. You're a slave in your mind if that's what you want to be. But you're actually free. You're in the freest country that this world has ever fucking seen. Rome and Greece were similar, but they were slave and barbaric states. This is the best country we've ever seen. Just because there's certain laws and certain politicians and certain policies in place that make people that you would disagree with, some people agree with, some people disagree with, that's why we have a healthy debate. But nobody's subjugated anymore unless you're subjugated by your own government, which means you're paying taxes and all that, but that's what keeps the government going. The only thing I disagree with on taxes is that we're paying too much and we're paying for some dumb bullshit. Taxes should go to first responders, maybe public schools. There's certain things that they could go into, but there's certain things that they shouldn't, like the wars overseas, sending fucking... Anyway, once again, I got off subject. My bad, this is tragedy. So this one says, subjugation isn't slavery, bro. It's keeping someone with your foot on their throat. That is what the dude is talking about. Go to a res and see for yourself. So the word subjugation literally means the act of bringing somebody or something under your domination or control. So slavery is subjugation. Like I've told you before, I got Tesuque Pueblo in my blood. I've been to these reservations. I know how they work. I'm from northern New Mexico. The Native Americans out here act like if they don't got it made. You guys are the only ones that have reservations that are reserved for only you. If I wanted to go to a reservation and you guys told me I couldn't, then I couldn't go. But you guys could come to our cities and our towns and there's nothing stopping you from doing that. We don't tell you you can't be here. And that's good, right? That the Native Americans need their own place so they could go kick it, practice their own religions because of what happened in history. So that's okay. But I'm just saying you guys have it made now because reparations have been made throughout history. That's why you guys have your own reservations. You guys are federally funded. If you're Native American in your blood, you get checks every month in the mail. You guys have casinos on federal land. There's also a 4-star hotel downtown Santa Fe. It's the only Native American owned hotel. And it's owned by Picuris Pueblo. Why did they do that? Because Picuris Pueblo was fighting over water rights with other towns for the last a few years, a lot of years. Anyway, so they got together, the people of Santa Fe, and they gave them this hotel. If you watch my video about Picuris Pueblo, then you'll learn all about that. Now, I've been to reservations where I've seen broken down trailers and it looks like you're in the ghetto, but you can't blame anybody for that but yourself. If I had a trailer and it was all broken down, that was probably because I wasn't maintaining it. You got to keep maintenance on your house or your trailer if you want to keep it in good condition. You guys could work, and not only that, but you guys get checks in the mail. You guys get more assistance than us Hispanics, so what the fuck are you crying about? Now, I hate talking about this sometimes because race, ethnicity, Native, Hispanic, black, white, talking about these subjects hurts a lot of feelings. But when you guys are on my comments talking shit and giving information that ain't even right, then of course I gotta comment back, right? Anyway, tragic. So this one says, little kid, you are not educated enough for this subject. Just being real. Get your pacifier and go memes. Dead ass. If you like to debate, let's go. Study up. Now this is funny to me because I don't gotta study up. I'm down to debate you anytime, anywhere. You let me know. And if you wanna do it here on TikTok, let me just tell you, I'm not on TikTok all the time. I post TikToks, but I don't watch TikToks. I check my notifications every now and then. I have like over 800 comments. Well, that was the other day. It's probably over 1,000 now. And so I don't like checking my notifications because now I got to flip through 1,000 fucking comments. So if I don't get back at some of your comments, anybody that comments, that's why. My notifications is piled up because all the followers and shit. But anyway, this guy right here, what's his name? Mon Domingo or Mon Domingo 719. If you want to fucking debate, bro, I'm down to debate anytime. But on my time, I'm taking care of my daughter. I'm doing my thing. And like I said, I don't check TikTok that much. But if you want to get a hold of me, you could get a hold of me on my Facebook, on my YouTube. Tragedy the Hood Historian. I ain't got to study up, though. First of all, I'm not a little kid. I'm 36 years old. I know I got this sexy-ass baby face, but I'm 36 years old, bro. And all the knowledge I got up here has taken years accumulating it, and I still study. I ain't gotta study up, bro. We'll have a debate anytime. That's what a debate is. The knowledge that you have in your head and the knowledge that I have in my head, you're not supposed to study up for it before a debate, bro. That's cheating. Anyway, this one says, Charlie Kirk, with a bunch of laughing emojis, the Christian nationalist. Christianity doesn't belong in the Americas. First of all, yes, Charlie Kirk is a Christian, and yes, he's an American nationalist who loves this country and wants what's best for it, so that makes him a nationalist. And then you go on to say Christianity doesn't belong in the Americas. Okay, well, Christianity's been in the Americas since the 1400s, 1492, so we'll just say the 1500s, and it's here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. What are you gonna do? Kick out all the Christians? You think Christians are weak? Christians will stomp the fuck out of you if you try to disrespect their religion, their God, their... I don't mean to say religion, because look, to me, I think there's two different types of Christianity. There's religious Christianity. Those are the ones that go to church and ain't real Christians in their heart. And then you have spiritual Christianity. I know people who are spiritual Christians, and I know people who are religious Christians. Me, myself, I'm not religious or nothing like that at all. But I'm just saying, knowing history, the way Christianity spread throughout the whole world, spread to the Americas, from Canada all the way to the tip of South America, you have Christians everywhere. So it does belong in the Americas, and it's here to stay. And why do you say it doesn't belong in the Americas? You think that it should just be the indigenous religions and beliefs, spirituality, and that's it? No, bro. Christianity ain't the only religion in the Americas. The Native American spirituality ain't the only religions in the Americas. We have Hindu, Buddhism, atheism, Satanism, you name it. This is America. Okay, so this one says, make sure you supplement Spanish with white man. Tlatzocamati. I don't speak Nahuatl, my bad. But what this guy's trying to tell me is to replace the word Spanish in my history with white man. Now what the fuck is wrong with people? When the Spaniards first came in the 14 and 1500s, they came from Spain, which is in Europe, so they were white, yes. But then the Spanish people mixed with the indigenous people in the Caribbean. Then they came to Mexico, mixed with the indigenous people in Mexico. Then all those cultures that were mixed moved up here to New Mexico. And then they mixed with the Pueblos, the Navajo, the Apache, the Kiowa, all the natives that were around this area. So the Spaniards were white men, yes, because they're from Europe. And the ones that live in Spain today would still be technically white by race because they're in Europe. But I'm talking about the Americas, and Hispanic people today, especially here in New Mexico, we're mestizos. Our people have mixed with the native people for hundreds of years. We're mestizos. Me, myself, I have Pueblo blood. My daughter has Navajo blood. Most everybody I know could say they have native and Spanish blood, and we rep both sides. That's why we say we're proud to be mestizos. We're proud to be coyotes. Ain't nobody here racist, bro. If we were racist, I would be saying, oh, I'm Hispanic 100% and I don't got no blood. My blood isn't mixed or, bro, we're so much mixed blood and we're proud of it. We're proud of all of our fucking cultures and traditions. I grew up mostly in the Hispanic. Well, all in the Hispanic, right? I didn't grow up in the native side at all. I just know it's in my blood because I have a great grandma from Tesuque Pueblo. But I grew up on my grandma's side of the family, who are mostly Hispanic. My grandma herself had German blood. She was a white lady. And then my grandpa was part native and part Spanish, but he left my grandma when my mom and them were babies, so I never met him. Well, I've met him, but I didn't know him as a kid. My grandpa who raised me is from northern New Mexico, from Peñasco, and he's a Hispanic. As a matter of fact, he could trace his blood all the way back to Queen Isabel. Now, I can't trace my blood back to him because, like I told you, he's not my grandpa by blood. But he's the grandpa who raised me, him and my grandma. And then my mom was in and out of prison. I never knew my dad. So, anyway, okay, so this one says, common sense. When's the last time a fucking snake talked to you? When's the last time you saw someone walk on water? Moreover, how do you condone slavery with common sense? First of all, I never said slavery was common sense. Second of all, and just for context so you guys know, he's talking about the Bible. So I wanted to say that don't pertain to me. I'm not a Christian. I used to be a Christian. I haven't been a Christian for a few years. I fell out of that faith. And so I'm not going to answer questions that have to do with a religion that I'm not a part of. But based on the Bible, he pointed out, when's the last time a fucking snake talked to you? When's the last time someone walked on water? So I wanted to ask you, what's the difference from a snake talking to somebody in the Bible or a serpent named Quetzalcoatl talking to the Aztecs? Like I said, I'm not even a Christian, so I don't even care, but you're just talking shit to talk shit. Unless you don't believe in anything, you have the Mexican flag all over your shit, a feather, so I'm pretty sure you're spiritual in some kind of way, right? So when was the last time that Quetzalcoatl came and talked to you? Okay, so I wanted to reply to a comment, but I only wanted to reply to the end part where he says, don't disrespect my 505. Where do you think I'm from, fool? So this is the guy that wanted to debate me. So on a comment before this, he was telling me to debate him. Something about this weekend at 8. I'm barely checking my notifications now. Right now it's 8:33 on Sunday night, so I'm probably too late. I'm not on the internet all the time, especially TikTok. I hate TikTok. I post TikToks, but I don't watch TikTok. Sometimes when I'm flipping through my videos, I'll look at the comments, and that's how I see people's comments. I have over 1,000 comments, like 1,200 now, stacked up. So I don't want to go to my comment section and check my comments that way. So sometimes I'll just go to the video and read the comments in the video, and that's how I got to see these comments. And Mr. Mondomingo 719, I barely seen your comment about 10 minutes ago, so I'm probably late for your live that you were saying. He was saying he wanted to go live, that he goes live on the weekend and I should join. I don't know. First of all, I've never went live with anybody on TikTok. I don't even know how that works. Second of all, like I said, I do it on my time. I take care of my daughter. I'm living a life. I don't live on the internet 24/7 like you fucking people do. But anyway, this ain't even about the debate. Like I told you, since I don't check my TikTok a lot, you could always get a hold of me on my YouTube at Tragedy the Hood Historian, or on Facebook at Tragedy the Hood Historian, or on any other social media platform that I'm on. But those two is where you could get a hold of me probably the quickest. Like I said, I post TikToks, but I don't watch TikToks. I'm not a TikTok fan. But anyway, at the end he says, don't disrespect my 505, Zia Proud. I don't think this guy knows who I am, huh? First of all, he put in all caps, my 505. Bro, it's not your 505. I'm from the 505 too. This is our 505. I'm from New Mexico too. I've been teaching New Mexico history these last couple years. I've taught so many people from New Mexico the difference from Latin and Latino, the difference between race and ethnicity. I've taught them New Mexico history about different buildings and cities and towns and the people of New Mexico in our history. I've taught so much shit. Bro, I'm from New Mexico. Who the fuck do you think I am? Me and my team, our entertainment company is literally called Zia Strong Entertainment. My last mixtape was the Southwest Mixtape Volume 3. Bro, I've been repping New Mexico since the day I was born. I still rep New Mexico. I go hard for New Mexico. What do you think this Zia on my face is? You think I have the Zia symbol for nothing? Talking about 505 and don't disrespect your Zia, but on your name, you have a feather and a Mexican flag. So I represent New Mexico harder than you do. I'm a Hispanic from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the oldest capital city in America. I guess that's all I wanted to say. So this guy says that New Mexico was still Mexican land. We didn't cross the border crossed us. So let me set the facts straight. New Mexico was only part of Mexico from the years 1821 to 1846. From 1846 until currently, it's been part of the United States. Prior to 1598, it was home to a grip of indigenous tribes like the Comanche, the Navajo, the Apache, the Pueblo people, the Kiowa, the Utes, and before that, the Anasazi. Then in 1598, the Spanish came to New Mexico and it became part of New Spain. It stayed part of New Spain from 1598 all the way until 1821. In 1821, the Mexican War of Independence popped off. They kicked the Spanish out of Mexico, and then they became the Mexican Empire, soon to become the Mexican Republic. The Spanish left Mexico and went to the Caribbean, eventually left the Caribbean and went back to Spain. So in 1821, New Mexico became part of Mexico. And in 1846, when the newly formed United States of America started moving from the East Coast towards the West, they came through New Mexico all the way to California and made that part of the United States from 1846 to 1848. But in 1846, that's when New Mexico itself became a territory of the United States. Then in 1912, it became an official state, I think the 48th state, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little bit of the history of New Mexico. Never were the tribes part of the Mexica tribes. And when we were part of the Republic of Mexico, we were a northern state called Nuevo Mexico, just like Alta California and Cajihual, Texas, or whatever. These were northern states of Mexico, Texas, California, New Mexico, and New Mexico used to consist of what is now New Mexico and Arizona. If you know history and see the way the states broke up and what made them what they are today, then you would know this, so you should do your research. I encourage you to do your own research and find out all this stuff for yourself. Find out the facts. Cross-reference me on everything I say. I encourage it. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something new. So this guy says, this is all Mexican indigenous native land, period. What? This is New Mexico. So how can you say that? Before the Spanish came and made a new race, the mestizos, by mixing with the natives, before they came and made us, mestizos, it was native land, yes. But none of New Mexico was Mexican indigenous native land. It was Native American land. It belonged to the Apache, the Kiowa, the Navajo, the Pueblos, the Utes. There was a lot of tribes that called New Mexico home, but none of these tribes were Mexican indigenous tribes. So how can you say that? You guys are brainwashed? Your mind is warped by some bullshit? And you need to educate yourself some more, bro. Okay, so this one says, New Mexico was never part of Texas. Now, Texas did have claims to certain parts of New Mexico. However, they gave those up to the government in the mid-1800s for assuming some debts. Okay, so first of all, if that's true what you said, that Texas did have claims to parts of New Mexico, but it gave it up, then obviously part of New Mexico belonged to Texas at one time, right? Now let me tell you, the western border of Texas used to go all the way to the Rio Grande River. If you look at a map today, that would be more than half of New Mexico. So yes, more than half of New Mexico at one time did belong to the state of Texas, especially after the Texas Revolution. Now over time, the states became what they are today. But yes, at one time, Texas consisted of all the way to the Rio Grande, which would have been half of New Mexico. They also consisted of some of Oklahoma, some of Utah. Just because it doesn't consist of it today doesn't mean that they didn't have claim to our land at one time, because they did. Just like the Native Americans had claim to this land at one time. Then when the Spaniards came, they had claim to this land for over 200 years. Then when the Mexicans had their revolution and made the Mexican Republic, they had claim to this land for 35 years. But ever since 1846, the United States has had claim to this land, and it still does. So anyway, the reason for this comment was because somebody was asking me that they had family in Texas, they said, and that they heard that New Mexico once belonged to Texas, and they were asking me if it was true. So I was telling them that the western border of Texas used to go up to the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande River cuts right in the middle of New Mexico, kind of cuts New Mexico in half. So half of New Mexico at one time did belong to Texas, yes. Anyway, okay, so this one says, you don't speak for natives, only you believe it. I speak for New Mexico. That includes the Native Americans, the Hispanics, mestizos, coyotes, the whites, the blacks, anybody who claims New Mexico as their home, that's who I speak for. And when I teach history, it mostly centers on the Native Americans from New Mexico and the Hispanic people from New Mexico. So yes, I do rep the native. I have a quarter Tesuque Pueblo in my blood, so I am part native myself. I rep the Hispanic blood, I rep the native blood. People that have been following me for a long time know this. I get love from the Pueblos, from the Navajos, from the Apache, from the Native Americans here in New Mexico that are from here in New Mexico. They show me mad love and support, and they know that I support them and show them mad love as well. It's only the little crybabies who get on there on their keyboards typing up bullshit, so I reply to their comments, and then it turns into a back and forth, but I'm pretty much probably arguing with some little dumb kid in their basement at mama's house. Now listen, whoever the fuck you are, you must not know who I am. I've been teaching New Mexico history for the last few years, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You or anybody. Fuck you. I do what I do. No comment's gonna stop me. I like comments because I could reply to them in a video, which honestly just makes for more views and for more promotion for my fucking shit. So fuck you. Fuck everything you love. And if you see me in person, I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico every day, all day. I'm not hiding. When you see me, tell me how you feel in my face, dog. But anyway, my bad. Slow down. I'm not trying to internet bang. I'm not one of those. I'm just saying, bro. I do rep the natives. I rep the Hispanics. I rep the Mexicans. I rep anybody who reps New Mexico, because I rep New Mexico. Who the fuck are you? Everybody's talking about this TikTok ban. You want to know what I think about it? Fuck TikTok. TikTok has been censoring me for the last couple years. Whenever I speak truth, my videos get demonetized. They don't get shot out to the public like they should be. whenever I speak on Hispanic and Native American issues, the Native Americans are the ones crying, not the Hispanics. And guess what happens? I get demonetized, I get flagged, I get canceled. I've been having to deal with this censorship for the last 2 years. I've been monetized for like 3 years maybe on TikTok. I don't know how long, 2 years, 3 years. I've been monetized ever since I got 10K followers. Now I'm almost at 25K. But half of my videos, more than half of my videos, are demonetized because of crybabies saying that I have hateful speech or that I'm racist, all kinds of shit. Now, if you guys have been following me, then you know I'm not a racist. I just teach history, and I teach it true, and that's what people get mad about. Why do people hate the truth? Especially with history. I could see if I was a politician, right? I left politics, and then I'm over here spilling the beans about all the shit going on behind the scenes. They would probably want to kill me, people would want to hate me. I'm just speaking the truth about history, but it gets people in their feelings. No disrespect to Native Americans, but mostly my crybabies are Native Americans or indigenous people from Mexico who think they have claim to New Mexico. But I speak up for the Hispanic people, for my people. I speak up for the mestizos. I speak up for the coyotes, for the Native Americans and the Hispanics, and the mixture of the two. But TikTok, I guess, is against free speech, so fuck TikTok. I'm an American. I love my First Amendment right of free speech. And fuck anybody trying to take it from me. Any app, any program, any person. So, just like I used to tell my POs and the judge, fuck you. So fuck you, TikTok. I hope you get banned Sunday. And all you crybabies that make so much money on TikTok to dance or act like fucking idiots, go get a real job. Now you could understand how it is to be a normal fucking human in civilization, instead of over here dancing in front of a phone like a fucking idiot, trying to get likes, going live, and saying some dumb shit that don't even make sense just to get likes. At least I educate the people with the truth. TikTok don't like that? Then fuck TikTok. Anybody that wants to watch my shit, I'll still be on YouTube. Tragedy, the Hood Historian. Make sure you go over there, subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing my thing.